Blog Talk Radio.
Frequency, give me false food upon the frequency. Then come to give me false food upon the frequency. Attacking our mind now with the frequency. Them come to give me false food upon the frequency. Depth, pathology, look you see. In your depth psychology. Them all are giving them ultrasonic bombardment resonance. On the frequency, yeah, on the frequency. Them come to give me false food on the frequency. Them come to block up the Rastaman Trinity. You see, give me false food, yeah, on the frequency. Who them a go attack versus maternity? Well, I say frequency is just the frequency. Then come to give me bad thinking on the frequency. Then come to give me ultrasonic resonance in a with frequency. Then come to give me holographic in a with frequency. Come to amplify your thoughts of negativity in a the frequency. Then come to give me bad food on the frequency. Then come to attack with country on the frequency. Then come attack with sovereignty on the frequency. If you think they can't see for your mental image be, them know your frequency. Them know your frequency. Them are a laser search out from your frequency. Them are unite your hydrogen bomb to the image where your hydrogen particles are show them diffraction, diffusion, crystallography. In the heart of the crystal where the scattered in center in the frequency. We get in the frequency. Hey, love Jah Almighty is the frequency. Well, Rastafari chanting out in the frequency. Yes, in I still a see I in the frequency. Oh, he highly is the frequency. Joseph Father's name was highly in the frequency. All of Selah name be praising at the frequency. We come in frequency, praising the Almighty. They're in the frequency, when I hear in the frequency. The mother attack, we mindset in the frequency. The mother of your mental image. Send it all the mail back, far country, we see your frequency. I be Selassie, I be faith, protect the frequency. The frequency of love and shooting at the frequency. Protect the frequency of togetherness in frequency. Oh, highly, Jah is the frequency. Only for distraction and diverting of them frequency. Them all have come with all attacking from the far countries. In at them frequency, in at the frequency. Them all attack little baby in at the frequency. From all the move my womb, them a watch the frequency. Them know the harmonic is in the duality. Jah know the frequency, Jah know the frequency. Jah protect you, love you one another wherever each other be. It's all one love, burning up the frequency. Holding firm in oneness all together frequency. And the distance cannot be found in that close proximity. It is the closeness of our heart we find the frequency. It's all the distance, all of pattern in the frequency. It has the microscopic bonds in the frequency. Oh, hold on together, you're in one unity. In that the frequency, love and community. In that the frequency, in that the frequency. Make sure you are very patriotic in your frequency. Pray for the protection of the day till they feel of the frequency. The place where you will get that in captivity. Oh, the frequency. Pray for the rulers of the earth in that the frequency. In that the frequency. Don't know the fabric and the water that psychic memory. In that the frequency. In that the frequency. We are conditioned in the earth with all righteousness. You don't know frequencies. It's what appeal to me. You know the frequency. You know the frequency. You know the frequency. It is the frequency. That is the dragon, is the net. That is the frequency. The abomination and the mouse in that the frequency. 1,000 years we are looking for frequency. In that the frequency.
Let the love, family, and give thanks again for listening into another Coons and Politics Part 9 series of the Sankofa frequency. And, you know, the title is very powerful and very needed to be talked about. What is your 4th of July to me? And that speech was spoken in 1852 during the 4th of July celebration by Frederick Douglass, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. But I just wanted to put that out there so you'll know that we're elaborating on the 4th of July and how we as African people, black people, however we want to label it, really don't need to be wasting our time celebrating that holiday because it really has nothing to do with us. And I know we see articles and documents floating around from back in the 1800s saying that slavery was abolished on July 4th, 1776. I mean, I was told that in school, and so was my mother, and so was her mother, but that didn't necessarily mean that it was true. So in February 2008, when I was working at West Hollywood Hills Elementary, I was in the library, and I came across this book called The Black Americans, A History in Their Own Words by Milton Meltzer. And I came to the page 64 and 65. From 60, it starts at 64 and it ends on 66. And it's about Frederick Douglass' speech that he spoke on the 4th of July. And I'll read this speech in a little bit, but just to put that out there. I know you enjoy the picnics and the fireworks and things like that, but when you know the truth, you're kind of forced to do different. When you know better, you do better. So now listening to this program, and I'm sure there was other programs being aired on the 4th of July, before the 4th of July, and up probably until now, speaking on the miseducation and the misleading information that we've been celebrating over the centuries, you know. And, I just want to say that. So we got David D. Miles on the switchboard, and we have Christina from out of Washington, D.C. She was on the last program that we did. I'm going to open up their mic. So, David, if you want to say something, and Christina, you could say something, and then we could just start talking about what is the 4th of July to the African in America, and what is Frederick Douglass Oration really about, that speech that he spoke. And what does the 4th of July, who does the 4th of July really serve in America, and why misleading and miseducation leads to more coons and more politics. And yes, last but not least, let's don't forget, make sure you use this new moon energy. Today is the new moon to manifest all that is good, that all that is in good favor of your righteous cause. So take this full moon energy and shift whatever you think that needs to be shifted, and change whatever you think needs to be changed. Let go whatever it is you need to let go. This is the perfect time to do that. Perfect time to just start anew. So, David, your mic is open. Christina, my sis, your mic is open, too.
Okay. Peace and blessings, everyone. If you hear some weird noises, I'm traveling at the time. So I will be here and there, but I'm here.
Okay. Christina, would you like to say anything, sis?
Who, me?
Yes. Would you like to say anything?
Yes. I know you're going to probably get into this, but the 4th of July should not be celebrated by our people, because the 4th of July celebrates the independence of the white man, who is our natural enemy. And we don't need to add power to their independence.
Exactly.
And we add power to it through our spirit and through our money.
Right.
We have power to it as small as even having a barbecue. I did it because it's kind of ingrained, but it's a good day to barbecue. But no, I don't like to celebrate it, but that does add power to their independence. When they celebrated it, they hung a bunch of us. When they celebrated, they sold a bunch of us. When they celebrated it, they got drunk and raped a bunch of us. So, yeah, that does, and celebrating it, you know, even a little bit, even barbecuing, adds power to it. You know, I try not to, but I do because it's good day to barbecue.
It did what?
It's a good day to barbecue.
Oh, okay. Not because it was the 4th of July, just because it was a good day to barbecue.
It's a good day to barbecue. It's a nice weekend day for the most part. You know, here in Texas, you know, we celebrated ours already with Juneteenth. So you didn't need their national holiday to do it. We always did it. You know, give us our doggone reparations. Give us what we asked for. We didn't ask for that. We do that anyway.
Yeah, right?
Memorial Day was our day. They hijacked that. So give us what we asked for.
Can I say something, Megan?
Yeah,
Can I say
sure.
something?
I'm just laughing right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not trying to contradict what the brothers say at all. I respect all my brothers. But this is my opinion about being a good day to barbecue. I love to barbecue. That's one of my favorite things that relaxes me. But from what I've seen, I'm just judging from this year, and it happens a lot of years. It's not a good day because there was 500 shootings on 4th of July this year, and a lot of them were teens that died or were injured. And that's what makes it not a good day to barbecue because of the danger. And it's the most dangerous day for police, even though I don't deal with police too much, but it's the most dangerous. I mean, it's the hardest day for them, too.
I have to agree with that, but I don't care. I don't care about their difficult days. But you're right about young melanated people being in the crossfire of some idiot celebrating something that doesn't even belong to them. So yeah, I agree with that.
No, she was saying that it's the young ones doing the shooting.
Yeah, I'm saying that
they are, because to me they don't even know any better. They don't even know their own doggone history. They celebrate because cave monkeys celebrate.
Because of the festival part.
Even before they were even fireworks, they got out there shooting. And any drunk and stupid to get out there shooting.
All right.
Yeah, and people get shot, and it's a dangerous day because the fireworks sound like the bullets. So they get away with murder. Just like
because
Halloween.
You don't know which one's the guns.
Just like Halloween.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They get mad on Halloween, too.
Well,
Very
that is
mad.
their cultural celebration. That's what demons celebrate, what demons do. So that is their cultural celebration. That's their day.
And so is the 4th of July. And Frederick Douglass told them about it, David, in 1852, when the city honored him an invitation to deliver the 4th of July oration. But they didn't know he was going to say what he said.
No, they did.
That was the beautiful part about it. They invited him, to give an oration, not reading it before he said it.
Right.
Not reading it before they said it, but they set themselves up because they should have known that Frederick Douglass was not going to be in cahoots with them. He's not going to be big enough for 4th of July.
They assumed he would abide by their opinions, and
I don't see how they thought that.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought that too, but you're right. They didn't read his speech to check it. They sure didn't. oh, you can't say this. Oh, you can't say this. That's been the first time redacting went into effect. They didn't do that.
I mean, come on.
And
Come on,
they
he
were
edited
made
it.
fools for not doing that. Because when he read that, I'm pretty sure he got behind a bunch of them rednecks and pissed them
He was on the stage. He was on the stage. Like one of the people reading the oration to them. So they were sitting there listening. Now remember, this is someone who edited.
Probably with their big mouths wide open in shock and disbelief.
Drinking their beer like, no, he didn't.
He wasn't telling a lie.
Yes.
He didn't tell a lie, and he finished his speech.
Remember, he was the station master for the Underground Railroad. He edited his abolitionist newspaper, the North Star. I know they couldn't have possibly thought he was going to stand up there and say anything in light of the 4th of July. When my 5th great-grandparents were in the field, or maybe even 4th. So I don't know how they set themselves up to that, you know? To think that he was going to be on their side, knowing what his position is, dealing with slavery from the beginning. Anyway. So it really doesn't serve us. Is that the conclusion we're coming up with?
Yes, most definitely. None of these holidays serve us well. Not even Mother's Day or Father's Day.
Yeah, because who created Mother's Day?
I don't know.
In all actuality, it was Parents' Day. It was the merchants who separated that. It was
because some would say Mother's Day is the Grand Wizard Wife Day. They dedicated that day to the Grand Wizard Wife. But anyway, you hear so many different stories. It still comes back to what I guess Christina just said. It still ain't got nothing much to do with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
It didn't have nothing to do with us.
Not much to do with us. So,
yeah, because
I'm going to read, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, no discrimination to mothers and fathers. I'm just saying because we should celebrate our mother and father every day, like they say in the conscious community.
Truly.
We should love them every day. But I still say Happy Mother's Day, but I don't bother with the Father's Day, but I do say Happy Mother's Day to the black women. Because I know that they need that love, on that day. But we don't need none of that.
No, we don't. We don't need to merchandise for it or anything. We do things our elders anyway, including listen. We don't do much of that these days. But yeah, we celebrate our parents, our grandparents as far up as we can go. We even celebrate our aunts and uncles. There's no Uncle's Day. There's no Aunt's Day. And they're just as valuable as the parents.
Okay. Or Grandparents' Day, right?
Right. There's no Big Brother Day.
Or Godparents' Day.
Or Godparents' Day. There's none of that. But we should be quiet. Some merchant might be listening. Oh my God! Next thing you know, they'll submit something through Congress, and next thing you know, there's another.
We have the day.
My shit. Yeah.
We have the day. I mean, everybody has their own preference. that's how I'll put that. But, yeah, you know, we got to start being a little bit more educated on these holidays and celebrations and festivities that doesn't really belong to us, you know?
Right. They don't belong to us.
The main
government
thing
doesn't
is
create. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to let you go ahead with that. The government telling about that government.
The government does not willingly institute or celebrate anything for us. This Juneteenth is it the first? No, it's not. Martin Luther King Day, but you know, the finding out the true story about the assassination of Martin Luther King, it was the mafia that murdered him in the hospital. He didn't die of a gunshot wound.
That's true. And his family fought for the truth to come out. You know, they sued the government, and for them to admit that they murdered him. They assassinated him.
They might have got compensated for it, but who went to prison for it?
It was only $1. They only wanted $1. They didn't care about the money. They said they just wanted to prove that he was assassinated by the United States government. They didn't even want any money.
Yeah.
They got $1.
Yeah. Okay. That proved that the government was involved in it. Juneteenth proved that slaves in the South, especially Texas, didn't even know they were free. And then the intention of being free wasn't something that they agreed upon. It was something that they had to do in order to win the war. You know, and then you get proponents from the South who were in the Senate and Congress. Well, you know, let's just say that the 13th Amendment did set you free, except for. Now, what was the rate of explosion of prisons being built? Because it sure was a rate of explosion of black men being accused of the most simplest things, to be put in prison for a long time to retain them as slaves.
Mm-hmm. And pay them like slaves, too.
You get rid of that in the 13th Amendment, I think you can get rid of a lot of shit that the police do to us. Harass us, shoot us. You know, that's another episode. That's another episode. I'll get into that later.
Yeah, for real. That's in a whole class by itself.
All by itself. Police brutality bonds. They make money from our death.
Yeah.
And I think the greatest issue with celebrating these holidays and spending our money, even more than spending our money, but spending our money is a big issue too, is the power that you're putting behind igniting your enemy's progress. And I sat right there, and I said to this brother, I don't know if y'all heard of him, Angel Snuff 7. You might not have heard of him, but he's trying to make a movement to unite us and stuff like that. And I had to correct him on some stuff in his inbox, and he humbly listened, but he really not humble enough. But I mentioned to him that to have a plan to get 43 million people out of here, you're going to have to take the money that you're putting into these holidays, especially even if it's just Christmas, to get everybody out of here as a collective. And that's why the Most High,
No, I was a dick. I said,
Yes, that's why the Most High is so important about us going back to his laws, because when you separate from it, you're going to separate your money from it. And your money is going to go back to your community, and then you're going to be able to get out of here.
That would be a grand thing.
The Bible is saying,
That would be a grand thing. That would be a grand thing. I mean,
you got to get the economics together.
I would love to see a boycott last all year long. All you buy is necessities. Don't buy any merchandise. You buy what you need for a whole year.
Yeah.
Because we can't seem to have our own. We're not allowed to have our own. There's as many attempts were made to have our own. They got jealous. No, it wasn't competition. They were jealous at the overwhelming success of doing something that they could not do. How long did it take us? Less than 50 years to get to that success, and they've been working at it for how long? They were jealous.
Exactly.
If you want to follow any of their ideologies, any of their ideas, let's hit them in their dog pocket. Save that money. Save that money.
For real, for real.
Grow your own food. I mean, even you start with vegetables and start going fishing again. That's a family event too. Just go fishing.
Yes.
Because, man, get your hunters out there and during the season to go hunt your own meat. Take them out of the total equation of your survival.
Yes, and when I said this to him about separating from celebrating Christmas so that we can get enough money to get everybody out of here as a collective, the first thing he said, "Oh, you don't have to take Christmas," and I said, "Oh, I gotta move on." Then I said that I gotta move on, but of course I'm not gonna move on.
That's kind of a major problem with a lot of us. We won't do our own research. We'll talk about what we know. And what we know has been taught to us, and what we've been taught has been misled and miseducated. You're misled and miseducated and misinformed about it. There was some research on it. I don't call them holidays. That's a ideogram of holy days. Those are not holy days. Those are terror days. Their celebrations involve sex and blood. What's holy about that? And when we create our celebratory days, they should be called divine days, because we were born divine. We were not born into their sin. Or should I say, we were not moored to their sin. Research.
And with the miseducation, a lot of us don't understand that. They don't see themselves on that pedestal.
Nope, they don't. All it takes is a little research. It's out there. The best way to hide information from our people is to put it in the book.
But now they don't even have to go to books anymore. They can just go straight to Google or YouTube and get it readily like that, in a video form, in a lecture form.
Yeah, you're right. They don't even have to read it. Just go watch some lectures and stuff like that.
Just sit and listen to the lecture with the captions at the bottom.
That's right. You will be informed. You'll know more than you thought you knew.
Exactly.
And also, some people that study, the Most High keep them blind, because I have a friend that went to school with me, and he studied by being inspired by me. But for some reason, something is not right with him, because the Most High showed me everything. And I know why he did, because I'm a real queen, and I know when to move. And it's still my plan to get my people to, but God has the same plan already, what I just said. By the Israelite people teaching about these holidays in the conscious community, the elect, that's what's going to show the people to separate and gather the money, but you're going to need somebody to gather that money, because remember he said Judah, the African American, was going to have to free themselves. And that's what people not paying attention to. But what I'm saying, I say all this to say, is that some of them going to have to stay blind. Everybody's not going to be saved, because some people just not right, and they just can't be regenerated in power.
Right.
And they don't.
They can't win because they're not right. Mhm.
Yeah, and so he was a good example. He was a good example to me because I had to delete him because everything I said, he kept posting and going against it and saying, you know, that I was wrong for following the scriptures and all that. But no, I know what I know.
So why he unfollowed you? Because you was following what?
Because I was studying, you know, following the Bible. But another thing that also came to me is a meme, because these other nations are telling on themselves because they're beefing with each other. So they're telling us who we are. And another thing that came to me was a meme. I have it. I'm going to send it to you. I just saved it because I was looking for it. But it says, it tells you exactly where the real Bible is in England. And I sent it to a sister in England. I didn't say what I really wanted to say, but she's a very powerful sister and strong in the word and teaches the truth in England. And she's not
do they
afraid
have
of
this
you.
Bible? Do they have this Bible on display to where you can actually go read it?
It's probably on display where you can see it, and it's probably other copies.
It's in the museum.
Yeah, it's in a museum. But what I'm saying
So
is,
I think it's kind of funny that they can't produce some replicas of the original for people to purchase so they can understand the full content of the Bible.
listen to me, brother. They can. They still have it. And it's in that museum. And the key to our to part of our freedom is getting our hands on that.
Yeah. Well, in order for us to get our hands on it, the world's going to have to be in disarray and destroyed for us to get our hands on it and secure it.
And that's what the Most High is doing now.
I can believe that. Because we are living in their last days. But we do have to suffer through their last days.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. It's their last days, not our last days.
Right. It's their last days. But we are going to have to suffer during their last days. We're going to have to suffer well, I'm not going to say like we suffered before, but we will be suffering.
Yes, it's called Jacob's trouble, meaning the children of Jacob, the Israelites, our trouble, meaning that we will go through troubles and they're going to afflict and try to kill some of us, and even kill some of us, you know, because they know that their time is up. But if you are a good spirit and are strong, you don't have nothing to worry about. The Most High is going to protect you. And that's what your daughter was telling me today. I already knew, but I wasn't sure. But she said, I'm protected everywhere I go, anywhere I go on this planet when I had my spiritual reading. And that's because I'm a real queen, and I knew how to get us out of it. But the Most
That's what my daughter told you.
Yeah. She said I'm protected anywhere I go.
Yeah, you got to know it. That's right. I know I am. I know I am.
But I know we're going off topic here, but some stuff we need to talk about.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, they have the real copies. We're going to get it back.
Slowly but surely, I'm seeing these Europeans giving back artifacts, you know, that they stole centuries ago. However, even when they do come with, when they do call themselves giving up the Bible, that's supposed to be the real Bible, then there's going to be 5 years later another Bible circulating saying, well, these are the missing books that was missing out of that Bible that we said was the original Bible. So we got to stop taking this Bible literally. You get what I'm trying to say? We have to just use it and apply it to our life, yes, in a sense. But to get all caught up in the stories and the metaphors and the allegories, it's going to drive people crazy. And you get what I'm saying, and that's why we're at these crossroads right now, because everybody thinks that in that Bible everything is absolute, and everything is not absolute.
Indeed.
It's not.
Indeed.
It's only absolute in the real original. That's where it's absolute. Even the King James, on my meme I'm going to send you, it has 14,800 differences, the Bible that's in this museum that I'm talking about.
Yeah, 14,800 different verses than the King James Version. So that shows you that the King James Version is a waste of time. Because if you're missing over 4,000 scriptures, then that's showing me that the King James is a waste of time, because you're not even close to the fullness. You're not even close to the fullness.
No,
14,000 and something?
But a spiritual person can see through it, can see some stuff. You might not see everything, but you can see through.
But that's why I said you take it like it's how it is. It's allegory and metaphors. People take it too literal. They're believing that John, a man named John, actually existed with that English name John back in Bible days. They're thinking Paul and Peter and Joseph and Luke and Mark and all of them really existed. They did not exist. Those people never walked the face of this earth. That's allegory and metaphor. See how you can apply that allegory to your life and put it to work in real time. Mm-hmm. That's how the Bible is supposed to be utilized. People are getting caught up in the dogma and the doctrine of it, with the Savior coming back to save them. They get wrapped up in that rapture stuff. So you can't see nothing else but that, waiting for that Savior to come and save you for your sins. When you're responsible for your sins, nobody's coming to save you for the bad that you did. You're going to reap what you sowed, not Jesus. You are. There's a lot of people supposed to be Christians and made mistakes, ended up in jail. Jesus was nowhere to be found at their trial. They still got sentenced just like anybody else that wasn't a Christian. So we got to get out of the fantasy. We got to get out of the fantasy part of it. You get what I'm saying? Because then it starts turning into that egregore, where you start making yourself believe something so much, even though it's not real, but you make it real to yourself. So where nobody can give you evidence, it won't even help, because you're stuck in that belief system. And this belief system got a lot of our people messed up. My generation, the generation before me, they're messed up. They're not going to be the ones to fix this thing. Me and David was having that conversation the other day. Our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will see the great change. We're not going to live long enough to see that. Look at my generation. Look at David's generation. Look at your generation, Christina. Look at the generation before us. If it wasn't, how could I put it? If it wasn't being constructed then we going to be waiting a whole another 100, 200 years to see it turn over. There's
yes,
statistics.
And even in there, also sis, and that's something that they try to ignore, that they're not using it, like you said, use it for your advantage. Even in there it says for them to take out this enemy. I don't want to say everything in certain words, right? But they not even teaching that part, but I teach that part because I know you're supposed to use it for your advantage if you're using it. And
well, I see that Turner used it. He was a Bible man. He was a preacher. The white people had him preaching. He could preach so good and break down that Bible so well. But he used that Bible to slay the oppressor. He didn't say, oh, the Bible said thou shalt not kill. I have to just go for this. I got to let them treat me this way because if I kill them, I'm sinning. You think he saw that? He looked right over that commandment. And they went to work. Harriet Tubman the same way. Biggest Christian on the planet. One of the biggest Christians on the planet. And she kept her shotgun. And it was loaded and have shot and killed people, the Coons and the Cracker. So which way we want to go with this Bible? So if you're really about that Bible, then you need to be on Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner's on height. If you're really about the Bible, because they utilize the Bible for their warfare.
The reason why it's not going to get fixed until they get what the Most High said, it's going to be bloodshed. Just like the original copy that I'm talking about, that I didn't tell the sister what I wanted to say because you can't say everything. She knew what I wanted to say. And she's over there with Benjamin, who is the warriors that protected us. The Jamaicans and shit. So she knew, she know.
Yeah, exactly. Even Nanny in
Because I'm
Jamaica.
gonna tell you
Her
like
too.
this. Regardless if you go after them or they go after you, they're going to go after you. Like they said, like he said, our suffering that we have to go through while the universe is fixing this for us.
Yes.
The suffering part
Because
is
it's
that they're going to
cleanup
come
time.
after you. Huh?
It's a cleanup time. And as long as you stay on the right frequency, you don't have to worry about getting swept out by judgment.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you keep yourself clean, the broom won't sweep you out. You won't get swept out. So, you know, I think sometimes people just get too indoctrinated and then it starts turning into psychiatry problems. You know what I'm saying? Start messing with your head. Start messing with your head because you, right now, you're like in a frenzy, knowing and waiting and believing that somebody's coming to save you for your sins. And it doesn't work like that. Nature, the natural universal laws don't work like that. If you do it, you pay for it. You reap what you sow. The Bible talks about that. Karma, what goes around comes around. Plant good seeds and the good tree will grow. You plant corrupt seeds and a bad tree will grow. And it say nothing about it. If you plant bad seeds, a good tree going to grow because Jesus is going to save you. So come on now, we got to start using our common sense. Just like we in the fairy tale about 4th of July, 1776 freed the slaves when slaves were still working on the plantation. It's the same thing with the religion. And that's preventing us as a race of people, to be honest with you, David and Christina, from moving forward because we have to put our religion first. And if you ain't following the doctrine I'm following, I don't want to network with you. So they poisoned us through the religion because they know once they got our minds, they got our hearts, they got our souls. And they ain't going to unite because they're going to be fighting each other over whose religion is better. And that's what it's been.
And
the churches in competition with each other. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing that caused the sickness. That's the biggest thing, sis, that caused the sickness that we have, because it's bigger than slave syndrome. I already gave a diagnosis that I don't know if I want to say it on here, but shoot, I said it on Facebook before, but it's a clinical diagnosis for what's wrong with us.
Yeah, it's called the transatlantic traumatic slave syndrome. It's in our DNA. And if you don't clean up your DNA, that syndrome is going to stay in there, and you're going to see conscious people acting like coons, conscious people acting like they two-faced, conscious people acting like culture vultures. That's what you're going to see because the DNA ain't cleaned up. Science already proved that DNA could change.
Yeah,
genetics can change. And then on top of that, okay, exactly. Then on top of that, the immunizations. What do you think that's doing?
Yeah, I don't plan on giving them to my kids if I ever have kids. I don't plan on I had them, my mother gave them to me, you know, because she didn't know no better, and that's why I got an autoimmune condition now, probably.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of these boys want to be girls and girls want to be boys, because a black scientist said that they injected the children through their immunizations to change up their hormone levels to make them act the way they act. Boys want to be girls and girls want to be boys. Then the chemtrails that they spray in the neighborhoods over time. You know, so it's a number of things outside of the religion and the slave syndrome. You know what I'm saying? It's a trickle down. We can't get them with religion, then we'll get them with the immunizations. Because there's a certain flux of generations that's coming out now at 4 and 5 talking about I want to be a boy when you're a girl or you want to be a girl when you're a boy. That's not natural. That's either in the food, that's in some kind of medication, that's in some shots, in the air, that's in something that's doing this to these fetuses.
Well, my opinion from my studies would, I think it has to do with the chemicals in food, but also it's the psychological warfare that they posted against us through the industry and stuff like that. That's making our children, the promotion of the homosexuality and all that stuff.
Yeah, of course, exactly, of course. But they also get you through your medicine. Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't learn the power of psychology to reverse it, you can't heal them. You can't heal a homosexual child if you don't know the psychological reversation of that.
Mhm. But I see we have Say that again. I didn't hear you.
I said they can be healed.
Yeah, especially if they want to. But nowadays they don't want to be healed. They want to go and get a sex change. They want to look more feminine than me. Feminine than me. But okay, so I see we got a caller on the switchboard. I think that's Shanti Selassie on the switchboard. Your mic is open, Shanti, if you want to say something.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just coming in on the bar, whatever, but, as far as pathologies that our people are displaying around the world, whether it's homosexuality, whether it's whatever kind of behaviors or pathologies, whatever they displaying, and again, I'm just coming in on this part of the conversation, but all those things pretty much are based in definitely chemical, definitely food, but those things are societal as well. Societal and certain, when it comes to certain pathologies we deal with as a people, as a result of us being the victim of certain atrocities years ago that are coming to the head or are coming to the surface now, and how these pathologies coming to the surface more is that this world right now is all about doing what you feel, and you can do what you want to do, and XYZ or whatever. So, like, we look at it, the whole homosexuality or whatever has been flung on African people for years. You know what I mean? That's been flung on us for years, and that's been something that, like, people always make jokes about Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, it's an easy target, and I've lived there before. But there's something that sparked the homosexuality energy in Atlanta, and it wasn't just that being a black Mecca. That had to be a situation like that, and I researched this, but I'm pretty sure that there has to be some research that the whole so-called buck-breaking situation or whatever, that was like super prevalent within that area of Georgia. Had to be, you know what I'm saying? Because it's too much of that going on there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So that got to be something that, is coming to a head from some not necessarily hereditary or genealogical vibe, but it's some trauma that we dealt with for centuries, and now it's coming to a head in our babies, and now it's like they're in the world where they like, well, do what you want to do. So it's like, well, shit, do anything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
A 4-year-old talking about she want to be a boy.
Stupidness. It's like you don't even know what it is to be a girl, to be a boy. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Or know that you should call yourself that, or know it's something wrong with that, and you shouldn't be in a world where people are telling you that it's okay to do that, because really as a youth, you are a boy or a girl. But I remember my childhood, and it's like, yes, like I had the childhood of a little boy, but I really wasn't even really thinking about gender like that, you know what I'm saying, as a youth, because we just did what we did, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and it wasn't no situation where it was like, where I had an identity crisis as far as whether I'm a boy or a girl, or none of that kind of shit, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and I really don't think that our upbringing then was even promoting that, because it was like, they promoted, like, I remember in the 80s, we just were children, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't no, like, you are a boy, you are a girl, or if you're a girl, you want to switch it. Like, that's not how we came up.
No,
so I think,
exactly. we didn't play like that. Exactly.
No, that's
unless
not how we
there's
came
one
up.
special person, or sometimes there'll be one special person, right, Shanti, that wants to be Wonder Woman, but he's a boy. You know what I'm saying? You get that one out of 100 growing up, but it was never like this.
Right.
No.
Sure wasn't.
So,
Sure wasn't.
We're in a different world, Like, we're in a different time in the world, you know what I mean? Really, we're in a different time in the world, and, it's just time for us to realize what's going on, but, like, the whole thing of, history repeats itself, and, this, if you want to look at it, is the modern day so-called Holy Roman Empire, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and we know what that was about, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So the same thing that happened then, is happening now, and it's like the whole thing of the so-called Holy Roman Empire or whatever, that's not biblical stories. That's like actual factual vibes that happen, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and it's documented how
that they don't talk about. Like the definition of gymnasium.
Oh my goodness. Oh, bro, you hit me. Oh my goodness.
They talk about where a group of people just get to be athletic. No, the original definition of gymnasium is when males courted young men and they wrestled naked in the gymnasium.
Oh no. Mm-mm-mm.
And like words like fellowship, like, see, like, yeah, bro, you on it. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, and it's like, like the whole thing of mentorship, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. It's like, it's like they promote these things, but like mentorship is the same thing the brothers was talking about, except it's not you wrestling in the gym, it's you supposed to be this person's scholarly teacher, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you're mentoring them, but it really was some, like pedophilia business, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, we living in a world that...
They pay dowries to a lot of these families just to have your young man come be with us, and they molest the hell out of them. And they in turn grew up to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they might have had a wife, and they might have had children, but they did the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Greek Calliculas where they had orgies and bisexual meetings and all kind of crap. That wasn't us.
No.
That wasn't even our nature.
Nah. But like, so, like, that's what I think that this is, so it's funny, like, how you come into contact with certain knowledge or whatever. So it's like I used to hear about Greek letter organizations, and I think like the first time I ever heard, or like I even knew anything about Greek letter organization was like when I seen School Days. You know what I'm saying? Like as a youth, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But like there was nobody. I can't name one person in my family that's like in a fraternity or sorority, like right off. I'm sure somebody know whatever, but I don't know anybody like my immediate family that was in it or whatever. But when I first started, hearing about these Greek letter organizations that are of course black, and then started like getting history of Greece, I'm like, why are we attaching ourselves, or some of us attach ourselves to that? You know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Tattoos, Omega, Zeta, whatever that crap is. How come you couldn't research and get some comedic and start some comedic fraternity? How come you?
Yeah.
Something meaningful.
Of a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, not branded. Because you're not going to brand me. I have a tattoo. But, I mean, why couldn't you do that? Why do you have to push yourself to be Greek? Being Greek wasn't nothing.
Yeah, no.
Being black is awesome.
Exactly. But it's like, anytime a society looks at a next society to be, like, better, then it's like they seek to be them, you know what I mean, whatever. And so I really haven't really been up on the vibe lately, whatever, but I know I had a branch that was real well, like, according to him, he was a Coakleyite, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So like he really was on Steve Coakley, like hard, you know what I mean, whatever. So I really haven't been up on the whole
What is that?
A Coakleyite?
A Coakley.
Yeah, somebody that's hardcore on Steve Coakley. He is somebody that's like they love to teach us Steve Coakley, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So he was, like he was be watching information from Steve Coakley in regards to the boule, the black boule, and it's like the whole connection between the black boule and the talented tent, and how that element of the entertainment business and that facet of the black community, like how that has pushed certain agendas that are outside of our personal agendas as African people. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, And he tied the black boule into, I forgot the Pi Beta, whatever the hell it is, whatever. But like he tied those times and the whole talented tent into this time, and how, and showed how those people have done the bidding of white people to the point that they created a whole illusion of what blackness is according to what they were told it should be. You know what I'm saying? And we as a people, we always deal with that because Steve Coakley, he passed now. Like he was assassinated or whatever, but I mean, not assassinated like what just happened in Haiti, but assassinated chemically. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, through some other kind of ball, whatever. But his son is kind of carrying the work a little bit. Like his son is in Africa right now, like kind of carrying the work. Like he really doing like more infrastructure building, and like he got like a health product line or whatever. But anyway, like he was just speaking about how the elements of that whole Greek societal business, it wasn't just something that they attached themselves to with the letters. It was the actual mentality and the acts and the rituals and all that stuff that came from Greece that they actually using today. And he broke it down to even broke down some of their hazing practices. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, like the root of them things. You know what I mean? Whatever, and like what like the real root of the hazing processes are, and how some of the hazing that we know about that's exposed is actually a little deeper, and most of the hazing that they speak about, or that most of the hazing is based on some kind of sexual submission, in some way, but everybody wants to deal with, these organizations, and, I got, brethren in Rastafari that's in these organizations. I got brethren that's in Capoeira Angola that's in these organizations, agriculture, all these kind of vibes. And, I've had discussion with some of them about it, and I think that they know that I don't agree with it. That's their lives personally, but I really see that it don't matter what it is, whether it's that or something else. Anything that takes us outside of our natural African selves is not really what we need to be doing right now. We need to be thinking about it or dealing with it. You know what I mean? Everybody has their choice to do things, but if it's not going to help us build up ourselves and big up ourselves, we need to be doing that.
Mhm.
Right about that. Right about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You don't need to do nothing that's going to compromise your soul, because
definitely.
Regardless of the Bible or anything, when you throw all that away, this universe is God. This black woman and man walking this earth is God, and in the flesh, and you are powerful. You powerful beings, and if you do something to compromise your soul, it's over for you.
Yep. Yeah, majorly. But like, one's gonna get that. One's gonna get it because, like, I really see that people are willing to compromise themselves for goods or for material or for money. You know what I mean? Whatever. And the way that this world has worked is like the more money that you have at your disposal, some of the more things you can do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, which could lead you to be under the illusion that you have power. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So I really realized that, certain people, man, willing to compromise themselves just for that. And it's like they're willing to put their brother and sister in danger just for that. And it's like because they've attained a certain level of wealth,
But
that's the way.
sell them out.
Yeah, yeah, straight up. And it's like, you know, and it's like the way that they appease that guilt is by saying, well, I made it, you know what I'm saying, whatever, well, you know, like, well, like, I got mine, you know what I mean, whatever, and it's like, so a lot of people don't even think nothing about our people, period, you know, like, it's all about them, and they got the money, they good.
It's all
and
about
they get
them.
slaves.
Right.
They get slaves.
Mm-hmm.
You can do well and go back to the community and show people that you did well. But you can also do well, go back to the community and build up your community. And go back and show them what you did and then do something. That would inspire
Exactly. That's right.
That come back and do the same thing. But when you, because when you don't, you put your own community down. Remember where you come from. Yeah, I remember where I come from. Not a nice place to live. Yeah, I come from Detroit. It's a shitty place to live. But if I had
from
money,
D2.
I'd go back up there and buy a few estates and bring it back up.
You got to. But now, I see, like I'm from the D2. It's like I born in 1980 and I left Detroit in like 1990. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So, you know, I was a youth when I left Detroit. But, you know what I mean? Like, we know the D. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So the D went through a lot of changes. And, you know, if we look at within this dispensation of time, Detroit really started going down after the riots. It was already, you know, and it's like a vibe, but after the riots, it went down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I saw, like, but me being in the 80s, I still saw a remnant of black awareness and black consciousness in Detroit because, like, so my uncle, he used to, you know, like, be around the streets or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, I remember riding with him and, you know, I've been around with him, whatever, and it's like, you know, the brothers in Detroit, it's like, they used to greet each other with a black fist in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they'd be like, yeah, bro. So, you know, but when we look at Detroit now and other cities, you don't really see that same black consciousness and awareness because money came in and drugs came in and this came in and this came in and that came in, you know. So, you know, but Detroit is a very powerful place as far as where it's positioned geographically. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that came out of Detroit. There's a lot of different ways of life, religions, a lot of different philosophies, a lot of ideologies come out of Detroit, a whole heap, you know what I'm saying, whatever, from the Nation of Islam to the Moorish Science Temple to, yes, you know what I'm saying?
You know, they had to destroy that in order to come out with more, with different genres, okay?
Yeah.
And you did come out with good genres, some nice hip-hop. Hip-hop had a message. The message was not in their favor.
Yeah,
it was
true.
never in their favor. Now you got this hip-hop, just like homo-hop. Because
that's what it is.
Talking about homo
What?
That's what it is.
Homo-hop.
That's what it is.
It ain't from the hip no more.
Yeah.
Homo-hop, are you serious?
But that's what it is, though. You know, trap. You know, homo trap. I don't know.
I listen to everything other. I listen to old school hip hop. I listen to old R&B, jazz, blues jazz, bluegrass, reggae. Yeah. I do not listen to homo. I mean, because the last time I listened to it, I was like listening to the lyrics. It's like I want, you know, something about.
Sometimes you just gotta envision yourself in the moment to even try and understand it.
It's like no.
It's too much.
Okay to
it's too much.
What? No.
It's too much. Like it's like and thing with me is like, you know, it's like when I hear when I hear the vibe, it's like, you know, I'm hearing, you know, like, I mean, okay, now we all dealt with sex, whatever, but like I'm hearing like some crazy sex vibe, then it's like crazy sex vibe, then it's selling dope, then it's killing people, then it's like but the same subject matter. Okay, so like the dudes talk about getting girls, you know what I'm saying, whatever, or as they say, hoes, whatever, you know, selling dope and getting more hoes, you know what I'm saying, whatever. The girls talking about getting money and scheming on niggas. So it's like, this is stupidness, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, first of all, like you have, I guess, by, well, I don't know exactly why, but you are willing to refer to yourself and or be referred to as niggas and bitches. You know what I mean? Like you caught to that and your mind being referred to as that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And your life is a reflection of that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But in your mind, exactly. Exactly. But in your mind, you think because you attained some money that none of that matters, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and it's like, I heard these ones talk about, you know, like, but it didn't get me too. It's like, let's think about this music. It's like, I know y'all heard it too, like, maybe like here briefly, or like, minimally. These ones, it's like, these ones come out with an album, and it's like, they might be 21, 22 years old. The first song they come out with, they talk about how many problems they got, and how their life is so shitty, and how their life is, I'm like, you just 22. I'm not saying that in 22 years you can't have a life that's not the best.
Yeah.
Exactly. But everybody got a problem, and like, you know, it's like so all y'all come from the same kind of households, all y'all suffer from the same situation, same traumas, and all y'all are suffering from all these traumas, and that's your excuse for taking drugs. And teaching that to the babies. You teaching it, so like I've seen, like I remember, like, you know, like when one of my sons, it was a post he had made about having it, like about having a hard childhood, and what he mentioned, it was a lie. So when I seen this, I was like, when I seen it, I saw my blood pressure hit the roof, because like it was like he was like literally he was saying like literally, like, you know, like his, like the post pretty much was he hate that he was struggling sometimes as a baby to eat. You know what I mean? Well, not baby as a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
So like, when I read this, it pissed me off, because I was like, hold on, we should grow food together. The food you some of you didn't eat, you helped to grow. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So like I literally had the same kind of moment that Biggie Mama had when she heard the lyrics where he said, I remember what he say? I remember all I had was sardines for dinner. Biggie Mama was hot about that line. Biggie Mama was hot. She was like, not my son. She was pissed. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen, when I seen my son try to be like on like some, you know, I thought from the bottom over here type vibe, I said, oh, see, these depressed ass rappers out here, they pushing this depression to the babies, so the babies, it's like they think that you gotta have that I came from the bottom, now I made it, energy to show you made it, when really you didn't come from that. You didn't come from the struggle because of food you talking about you didn't eat. Again, you have to grow. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you never was hungry, but so a lot of these children or even adults in their 20s, 30s got these same personas they didn't created. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, I came from the bottom, and they, but it's like, no, you was in private school.
No, you didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. For real. All your life. All the way up to college.
Story so glamorous and so outspoken and stuff like that, when it's just as simple as just telling the doggone truth.
That's it. Just be real. You know what I mean?
Real.
You know? But nope. That don't sell. Being real don't sell. You know what I'm saying? Being real to yourself don't sell. But being fake, oh goodness gracious. It's like you guaranteed to make
A real person don't care about money.
They live lives more than they do the
The
truth.
job is yours.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and, you know,
But before you call,
what not a rude awakening, what great awakenings they are when you discover something that you believed in to have been alive.
Yeah.
You know, they take is a little research, a little reading, a little in-depth research.
Yeah.
And you can discover a whole lot of stuff. And you'll be mad that you were told this, and you remember it as this, and like, wait a minute, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you associated with that one lie, you got to now validate.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So,
More lies after lies.
When you live a lie, you literally live that lie.
Yeah.
And that lie will catch up to you, whether it's your fault or not.
Yeah.
Right smack in the face.
Yep.
You know, be real. I think it's cool to be real.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
For real.
And it's easy.
For real, it's cool to be
It
real.
takes a lot of energy to be a fake ass. It takes a lot of energy. Do a lot more shit with that reserved energy.
Straight up. Just like, okay, so niggas know, niggas know my vibe, like, as a musician or whatever. So, like, I'm a musician, and I've been, dealing with the music vibe for a minute. Now, majority of the music that people have heard as far as me doing shows and stuff is along the lines of what they call reggae and dancehall. Now, I'm as far as immediate family, I don't have anybody that's directly from the Caribbean that's in my family. You know what I mean? Whatever. Now, I could have literally created a whole persona for myself of being, Ashanti Selassie born in, West Kingston, Jamaica, XYZ or whatever, and created a whole persona for myself. No, I'm from Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, and I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and along that path, I came in contact with genres of black music that are not native necessarily to America, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I'm who I am, and that's that's pretty much what it is. And I think that it's better to be like that, because it's like it would be hard, like it would be difficult on some level for me to try to do that, because with social media being as it is, how it's connected, even if you're not trying to connect with somebody, like somebody you grew up with gonna see you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna see me like, hold on, you ain't from Jamaica, you from you from the west side of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So, but
right, they'll be so quick to blow you out.
You know what I'm saying? Quick, be like, hold on, Bridget. Hold on, Bridget. No, we grew up in Wisconsin. No, bro, you a lie. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
I was wearing my locks. A lot of people thought I was from Jamaica. But no, I'm originally from Detroit, east side.
That's it.
I appreciate that. I wish I was Rasta, but no.
You funny.
I wear my locks proud.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For real,
I'm from Detroit. Originally from Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
O.M.
Yeah.
Joanne, that's proud of that. It's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there right now.
Ooh, yeah, man.
Take money and go back home and buy a few estates and build it back up. Make them white folks hate me.
Yeah.
They selling homes for $1 in Detroit.
I know, that's why I would buy an estate.
Yeah.
Of course, it's decrepit, and you have to fix the house up. But $1?
Well, but see,
because if you bought 10 houses for $1, you can get a discount on the material.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
So that's no big thing.
But it's hard to get minds like that to even see that, to see a project like that go on. Because they're selling houses for $1. Even in Mississippi areas, they have houses that they're selling for $200, $300.
But shit, difference between
those little small towns.
The difference between a small town in Detroit is that when you buy the house for $1, you got 1,000 motherfuckers around you trying to take that house from you. So it's like you know what I mean?
Well,
so
you got to be conscious of where you buy your house.
Yeah, I mean,
you definitely got to be aware of where you buy your house.
Not necessarily,
that's true.
Because you want to take your neighborhood back. I don't care.
Yeah, because if they see you coming with improvements,
it used to be a crack house. Okay, well, wait till I fix it up, and you can make a CBD house or whatever. No.
Yeah, be a possible tenant.
Scare me off from fixing up, because you making money. You making money and destroying the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, because you did have some gangster drug dealers that did that. They took their money and built up the neighborhood. But we're not coming from that angle. I'm just saying for $1, if they see you trying to big up their neighborhood and fix it, you'll be a dummy to fight that, The same way we want good, they want good too. You see, it's just the way they express it, and it's not positive because when you're in a toxic environment, you're going to get criminals and robberies and drugs, and, you know, those things come with it. Yeah. You know, not to make an excuse because it's my people, so I'm going to make this. No, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just going to the root of the problem, and I'm speaking about it. You know, it may not sound nice to some people's ears, but when you speak about it, and if it hurts you, then you must be a part of that problem then, because that shouldn't hurt nobody. Honestly saying that they really just want a good neighborhood just like anybody else.
Right. To be in support.
They don't want to see that abandoned house every morning. And crackheads living in the house, they don't want to wake up to that every morning.
Nope.
You know? So we just got to, you know, see it from all those point of views, all those perspectives. You see it, but at the same time, $1, come on now. Somebody needs to band up some dollars and think about this. You know, we got to start thinking. That's land for agriculture, land for residential, land for commercial, you know? Come on. But anyway, before you called, right, Shanti?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. Sorry about that. So before you called, we were talking about the 4th of July.
Oh, whoa.
Who does the 4th of July really serve in America? And what is the 4th of July to the African black person and original, aboriginal, native of America? What is it to us? Is it misleading and miseducating, which will lead to more coons and more politics? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or is Frederick Douglass Oration speech on point about what the 4th of July really is?
You can be proud of a group's achievement, but then you have to look at that achievement. What was the achievement all about? You know, that achievement was to do to the people that you're doing shit to that you're getting away from. They were running from taxes and slavery.
Yeah.
Then they're going to turn around and do the same here.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, like,
this corporation was doing just fine with their infrastructure before the IRS and the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah.
You know, you collecting taxes, it seems like we're doing worse now. Now, why is that? You know, so, you know, your achievement was ass backwards because you're a crooked son of a bitch. There's a reason why you were being taxed and put through slavery because you were a piece of shit. So you gained your independence, put yourself in debt. And how did you get yourself out of debt? You sold people that you stole. Then you created the goddamn banknote birth certificate system. But a lot of us are waking up to that. A lot of us are cashing in on that. I'm trying to cash in on my banknote. I have a record of all my bonds that they making money from. I'm trying to find different ways to tap into those bonds by purchasing a bond to add to that group and learn how to cash that bond. Because if I can cash that bond I bought, I can cash the bonds that are just like it. They will hate me, and I will teach people for free. Well, my people.
Exactly. Yeah, like, it's time to definitely, you know, to do some rethinking on, you know, these kind of things because, like, you know, the reason why, you know, I'm against all these holidays, whatever, you know what I mean, but, you know, definitely including the 4th is because it's like when African people, it's like when we start to really, really take up the celebration of these holidays that had nothing to do with us, whatever, it makes us forget about who we are as a people. It makes us forget about our current situation, whatever that may be. And, you know, again, not only that, it's like, okay, so if somebody created something but that person is negative, you know what I'm saying, whatever, or energy that they're rocking with is negative, and you celebrate what they created, you know what I'm saying, whatever, then you're giving into that energy, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So if we look at 1776, now, like, 1776 and 1885, 86. Let's just say, you know what I'm saying? Let's use those times. So 17 and 18. That's a whole 100 and like 12, 13 years. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So now, while all this is like, why they, got bombs bursting in the air and all that kind of bullshit, whatever. Like 1776, like within that 100-year time frame that they say that they emancipated African people, whatever, a lot of shit went on within that 100-year time frame. A whole lot went on. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot went on. And this place is definitely based on hypocrisy, and that right there show you. You know what I'm saying? Because now, the 4th of July. So, for black people, okay, now, my memories of 4th of July started in Detroit, just like a lot of different stuff, whatever, you know what I mean, whatever. So, I remember 4th of July, like the whole of my neighborhood, it's like you smell barbecue from early in the day, you smell it, you know what I'm saying, whatever, people getting their grills ready, and everybody cooking and whatnot, whatever, and then, like everybody go out to Belle Isle, you know what I'm saying, whatever, which is a big, a big island or whatever, that's in the Detroit, Canada area or whatever, you know what I mean? So, everybody go out there or whatever, and, it's full of people, and the fireworks bust off, and then, everybody doing their usual fourth business. But when you look at just the mind of any black person in any place that is focused on a holiday that had nothing to do with them, but they're taking their whole family to deal with that, and this becomes a family tradition, and then they're doing this and doing it. By the time you get down to about the 10th generation, you forgot all about your ancestry because you focused on whatever this situation is, and it ain't got to be a holiday, but
and
it could be an ideology. Comfortable with it.
Comfortable with that.
And rocking with it. And if you tell them they shouldn't come with it, and like if you tell them they shouldn't be comfortable with it, you the problem. It's like, well, no, brother, sister, that you shouldn't be comfortable with that. What you mean, brother? Like we, like we got to advance. What the? Yeah, we do, but you gonna forget everything? Oh, brother, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, like we got to come up to date. You know what I'm saying? We got to be in modern times. Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. Okay. Do you? Do you? So.
And there's the same ones that believe our existence started with slavery. Won't even ask what were we doing before that event happened, before that crime happened.
Exactly.
We were doing great things. We were doing things we were doing things while they were still scratching their asses on stones to wipe them from shitting.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
They don't like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about that. They like to dig up
you just said it.
They're fascinated with digging up black bodies.
Oh yeah.
I can understand that bat shit can fossilize that hard, but you can go in them caves and dig up your own people's bodies.
Exactly. Exactly. But some of us want to follow behind them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Celebrate their holidays, celebrate their bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, no, I ain't with it, I'm not. I ain't with none of it,
Mm-hmm.
4th of July,
so
Christmas, Easter.
Let's hear what Frederick Douglass had to say about the 4th of July in his own words. But Christina, I think you wanted to say something. I heard you trying to chime in.
A little while ago, but y'all changed the subject. But I was just saying, when y'all was talking about people being real and fake, see, we have prime examples of that, especially in the Hollywood industry. Bill Cosby is a big example. They try to say a lot. See, and that's the thing about our people who not worthy gonna stay blind, because a lot of stuff that people looking for, or they don't know what they're looking for, but a lot of stuff that is the truth is being altered by these enemies putting out other stuff to confuse our people through our awakening. And they put out stuff about Bill Cosby that's not true, and I went right to the truth from another person when this sister thought she could debunk what I was saying about him, because I've been praying for him, and you know he just got free. But when I say between the real and the fake, you could be in the industry and do things, but it depends on what you do that's going to decide your fate and if you're going to get slayed. Because a lot of people that go and do fake stuff, and when I say fake stuff, I mean like negative music to harm their people's mind, you know, music that we need to repent from. They get killed. And look at Bill Cosby. He 83 years old. He might have went to jail for some lies, because I believe they lies. But he's free now, and he stood his ground. He made it through there while he was blind. But he did good for his community. Bill Cosby ain't never did nothing negative.
That's not necessarily true, but...
Well, you see, the thing with the women...
I mean, as far as in front of the community, in front of the world.
Okay.
Bill Cosby,
all right.
Bill Cosby, he didn't promote negativity.
You know, she talked about like the cartoons, the Fat Albert cartoons, and the Cosby Show. You know, little things centered, pointing towards the black family, and you know, big enough his roots and being proud of being black. He stepped forth on those avenues, but he still got caught up in the web of Hollywood. We can't dismiss that.
That's
free
true.
or in jail.
Okay, right,
he still got caught up in the web.
That's true. Now, now we just talked. Now this is a good lead-in a sense. Now we just talked about people forgetting.
It's between. I'm not to cut you off, but no matter what you do, to finish what I was saying, it's between, like y'all said, real and fake. And the Most High in the universe know that about you. They know.
Real talk. So
that's true.
So like we gotta. So like one thing that I always do is I look at people's track record, just like people look at mine. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, right? So you know, I always looked at you know, at Bill to be who he is, whatever, because I know he's an actor and I know how Hollywood is, whatever. And I see how he's trying to promote himself. Now, around 2002 or 2003, he was going on like a speaking tour, you know what I mean, whatever. And this the speaking tour was not black audience. It was white audiences, right? And Bill was going out there talking about how the names we give our children, what set them up for failure. He made mention to how sending your children to HBCUs are issues, and I was trying to figure that out because he's making money off of, you know, a different world. But like pretty much, he was just like pretty much just joking and downing his own people, and he did that shit for like at least a year to 2 years straight. He was going on talk shows and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, like really, really talking about. I mean, like I'm talking about there's evidence and recordings of him speaking about us to white audiences, and they are laughing hysterically about the shit he said about his own people. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So when I heard about some stuff coming up, I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So the same people that you dissed, right? Okay, so you dissed your own people, and you thought you was part of these people's vibe. So you said, okay, well, cool. So Weinstein giving them dope, so I'm going to give him to it too. You know what I'm saying? And you thought because you was away from the hood that you was exempt from what can happen. To the point you went on talking about your people for years straight, and it's documented like multiple speaking engagements. This boy just like talking about just like dissing everything about us from top to bottom. Then they lock him up for a situation that, okay, yeah, whatever happened. I don't necessarily know what happened, you know what I mean, whatever, but I do know that he went, again, dissing our people and how he was doing it Like, I don't check for it to this day. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So, like, when I heard that he was about to get locked up, I was like, well, what they say, the chickens come home to roost, because the same people that you was dissing us to, that you was there, you laughing, they laughing, or whatever, they lock your ass up. They lock your ass up.
But black people, y'all taking that as dissing when somebody's telling you the truth, just like Monique. Right now, Monique, she been banned from the industry and all that, and she sat right there, and she telling black women about wearing these bonnets and how it look in public. I don't even own a bonnet. And
but one thing that we got to realize,
you want somebody to be real. You want somebody to be real, but when they tell you what's real, you want them to give up their life and give up what they supposed to for their kids and their life. Okay? It was, and y'all don't know this either, but it's a black woman in history that she went and fed the homeless, and they blew her up in pieces because she was so powerful. They dynamited her. People give up their life.
Yeah. You see, Monique is not afraid to speak out. So once Monique started showing,
what I'm saying is,
you know, the world, like what's really going on behind the scenes, they don't want to deal with Monique no more. But Monique already made her money. What they fail to realize, she's good right now. She has her millions, probably even billions in her bank right now as we speak in this.
But
so even if
though,
nobody wants to deal with her from now on, she's good.
We have to start, like, what we got to start doing as a people is this.
Put her foot down.
He said Bill
You don't,
Cosby
like,
was
it's as
talking
simple
about
as
us.
that.
Bill Cosby was talking about us, and you don't, if you want to talk about
Right now.
if you want to talk about situations with our people, you don't make speaking engagements where you're making money by counting your people in front of crackers. You don't do that. Bill Cosby had a platform that if you really had issues with black people, he could have had a symposium, a real sit-down, serious vibe that he could have funded himself with other black people in Hollywood and really talk about the issues, but he chose to take his ass to go talk about his own people with crackers and make money off of what they're joking. You can take, so that's just like you having an issue in your house as black people, but you go out talking to a cracker in the street about what happened in the house. That's not going to solve the issue in the house. He knows that's not how you do it. What he did was he let them crackers put that money in his pocket, and he thought he was better than us. And he started talking shit about us in front of them, and they slapped his ass down. That's what happened. So if you want to talk about real shit, if you want to talk about deal with real issues with your people, have a real, listen, the whole platform of a different world was black people handling the black issues by their goddamn self. That was the whole platform of that show. You know what I'm saying? And that show showed the whole world what can be done if you use your education the right way. And how you do that by addressing the audience the right way. That whole show was about addressing issues to the right audience the right way. That whole issue, that show was about problem solving for us. He didn't take his own formula. He didn't use that. He went to go talk shit about HBCUs in front of crackers when you making money, syndicated money off of a different world. Did that make sense? No, it does not. You can't do that. So they slapped his ass down. Now we want to say we want to take him back up. Let his ass sit where the hell he at. That's what I say. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You forgot who you is. You know what I'm saying? You forgot who you is. So it's like sit where you at. You know what I'm saying? Sit where, okay, you're out now. You know, you're on the street again. Okay, so now you say you want to go and you want to do a comedy tour about what? Sit down, take a rest. You out of prison, sit there with Camille, and y'all live your life out until, and go so. That's how I look at it.
That might be
really.
what he needs to do. That might be what he needs to do. But if Bill Cosby wasn't innocent, he wouldn't the education he had, he used it to get himself free. If Bill Cosby wasn't innocent, he wouldn't have been free. Look at R. Kelly. R. Kelly is not going to walk.
But he might be innocent of those charges, but he's guilty of selling his people out, sis. So really, honestly, that right there is really a greater offense. Okay? I mean, a lot of things that anything that maybe me or you or somebody else doesn't agree with, we have the choice to.
A lot of times people say you sold your people out because you got something that they don't have, but then they'll go turn around and be trying to do the same thing when you sit back and sell yourself out. That's why Tupac said, even though he died too. He promoted thug life. But Tupac said, my mama always told me. This is something I learned from him. But I didn't listen to it because my mother didn't teach me nothing. But he said, don't put his mother told him, don't put yourself on the line for our people. Don't ever do that. Because all they're going to do is use you up. And he went and he did what he was supposed to do, what his mother taught him. He became successful. He's going to live on. And his mother got what she was supposed to get to take care of her for the rest of his life. His mother, who her people put on crack. I'm not saying all this to be negative, but I can see the big picture about everything.
Yeah,
well,
I see what you
and
mean.
I don't believe that all entertainers are sellouts because I can see through people's spirit.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not like I think that, and see, that what we have to do as a people. And like what we got to do is start being able to actually, first of all, we have to be able to identify sellouts in our community, like our communities. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, right? And the next thing too, what we got to do is that, see, we, like, by default, all of us have been put in a position to somehow look at, to speak about or to speak about the dealings of entertainers or look at them as leaders. We've been put in that predicament by default. Y'all realize that, right? We've been put in a position where we are made to have situations going where we either speak about situations that have been done or we look at them to be our leaders. That's a big issue right there that we got to analyze, you know what I'm saying, and speak about.
Exactly.
Because these people here, like these people have issues, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Now, like one thing that I've said before too is that I have been around the entertainment business, like more the music, my whole life. So I see a lot of shit that people do not see, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So no, everybody in the business is not a sellout. Everybody in the community is not a sellout that acquires things, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But what I'm saying is that when we have clear enemies, we have to address them, and we have to stop with the whole seniority business, and we have to stop with the partiality about, well, they did X, Y, Z, well, they did so and so, so and so. Well, listen, just like this. Now, there's noted dope dealers from Detroit from the 60s and 70s, you know, like a couple, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, that, you know, a few of them that, well, two of them, I'll say one in particular, Eddie Jackson, you know what I'm saying, whatever, right? Eddie Jackson is known for being one of the biggest heroin dealers in Detroit from the 60s on to the 70s. He's known for that. Now, he's also known for helping to fund certain issues, a certain involved with the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Also known for, you know, supplying most of Motown with cocaine. You know what I'm saying? The record label, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Now, you know, what Eddie Jackson did for the, like, with the Panthers and with other philanthropic, you know, vibes in Detroit, that was cool. But the fact that he was one of the biggest heroin dealers in Detroit, that can't be overlooked because Detroit's still feeling the issue from that now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I mean? So, you know, the things that you know, so like, I'm not saying he was sellout, but what I'm saying is that we have to be able to look at the wrong that people are doing, and no matter who the hell they are, what money they got, what position they in, because, like, if I was, like me as an artist, right? Now, there are certain things that if I go out and if I even name certain artists' names, or if I say certain things or whatever right now, I'll come with a certain scrutiny. The other artists that have been out there for years can say 30 times, 50 times worse than I ever said, and they don't get a pass. We got an issue with that as people because somebody been in front of our face and they have been presented to us through the lens of them crackers. we start saying, well, they did X, Y, Z. We don't know what they did because we ain't there with them every day. All we know is what we, like, all we know is what they allow us to see. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, a lot of people in the entertainment business, regardless of what side it is, are nuts-ass people. Some of the people are really pedophiles. Some people are drug addicts that will drug somebody else and have sex with them. Some of them are, you know, sociopaths, all that kind of stuff. They just like hide it. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Like the same people you see on the street every day, they got issues. They're all through Hollywood. They're all through Hollywood. They all up there. You know what I'm saying? Real talk though. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like real sick, disgusting, nasty ass people, but then you got good people in there too. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So like Hollywood, like the entertainment business is a microcosm of the world.
Good and bad. Whatever you deal with, you're going to get that polarity of negative or positive, up and down, left and right, good or bad. Just like you got some bad black people, you got some bad white people. Just like you got some good black people, you have some good white people. And we got to come to those realities. Not all black people is good.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, and a small handful of white people that is good. They not really, you know, warrior type. They don't have that beast mode type of mentality. But at least you can say, okay, there is a percentage of good white people, like there's a percentage of good black people. There's a bad percentage of them, just like there's a good percentage of them. And that's just how life is.
But when it all boils down to good,
we've been seeing more percentage of the bad.
When it all boils down to good or evil, God created both. And if the black woman is God, she created all these children. The black man, the black woman. So good and evil balance each other out. But when it all boils down, on your journey, no matter who you are, nobody knows if you're really good or bad but the Most High. People going to judge you every day. But you got to know in yourself what you've been through.
Yeah, it's all about your perspective. Exactly. Just like you view others, you got to have a perspective of yourself, how you view yourself.
You got to know your journey, what you've been through and what makes you you. Because you can sit there and treat a good person bad because you human and you don't know, and the universe ain't going to do nothing but kick your ass. Because they know that person.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hear you, sis. Well, let's hear what Frederick Douglass has to say.
Okay.
The ex-slave. Yeah, you know, before we run off on air time and we just be recording and not actually on air anymore. So at least it's the ones that are listening on their laptop, their phone, or their computer, they can hear what Frederick Douglass said in his own words. All right, A History in Their Own Words, The Black Americans, that's the name of the book, The Black Americans, A History in Their Own Words, by Milton Meltzer. Meltzer is Meltzer. And this is Frederick Douglass' own words on July 4th, speaking about the 4th of July. But before I read what he said, he has an article says Negroes for Sale. And this article is actually being posted around the same day he's doing his speech. And in the article, they're saying that if anyone is looking for a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, or a 27-year-old, they even got a 43-year-old woman for sale.
Wow.
All right, so,
wow.
Yeah. So Frederick Douglass is like, what is your 4th of July to me? So in 1852, the city honored him with an invitation to deliver the 4th of July oration. This was in 1852, so it's after 1776. But it's on the 4th of July. But Douglass was no mouthpiece for dead history. So Douglass says, fellow citizens, pardon me, and allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? Whoa. What have I, or those I represent, meaning, the prisoners of war, the slaves, to do with your national independence? With your national independence. So why are we celebrating 4th of July? Are the great principles of political freedom and of natural justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefits and express devout gratitude for the blessings resulting from your independence to us? He's asking a question. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? And he says, I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days of the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. He would be that slave man and woman. To him, your celebration is a sham. Your boasted liberty and unholy license, your national greatness, swelling vanity, your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Frederick is going deep here. He said your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence, your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Like your mockery is hollow. Your shouts for liberty and equality is hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, you see, your prayers and hymns, which are the same prayers and hymns we took upon ourselves and say to this day. Your sermons and thanksgivings, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast, mere fraud, mere deception, mere impiety and hypocrisy, a thin veil to cover up crimes. To cover up crimes, he said, which would disgrace a nation of savages. There is not a nation of the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. Go where you may, search where you will, roam through all the monarchies and despotisms of the old world. Travel through South America, search out every abuse, and when you have found the last, lay your facts by the side of the everyday practices of this nation, and you will say with me that for revolting barbarity and shameless hypocrisy, America reigns without a rival. From the Lives and Writings of Frederick Douglass, Volume 2, edited by Philip S. Foner in 1950. But it was said in 1852.
So like, that was a speech that was just like the writing.
That was what Frederick Douglass said.
Like,
on the 4th of July in 1852.
At a location.
He was invited to do a 4th of July oration, and I don't think that they knew that he was going to go in the way he went in.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
but they invited him. They invited him, Ashanti.
Yeah.
So he gave them what they asked for.
No, they ain't asked for that.
Remember, Santi, he edited his own abolitionist newspaper, the North Star, and was the station master for the Underground Railroad. You get it? Station master for the Underground Railroad. What did they think he was going to say? Did you not think he was going to say your shouts of liberty and your equality is hollow mockery? He stood there in front of them and called them a bunch of clowns, fools, jokers, liars, devils, wicked, evil, any name under the sun. He gave it to them right there. You think they cared? Please. But the truth shall reign. And that's what matters. If they care or not, don't matter, but the truth shall reign. So he said America reigns without a rival. Because everywhere you go, she got her hand on somebody's throat.
That's crazy, man. Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody wants to elaborate on that. I don't want to be the only one talking.
Why ask if that was writings versus him speaking somewhere is because I was like, these people is beasts, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, just through minimal research, I done seen where it's like they, it's like they will routinely go to like white politicians events and like, try to assassinate them and shit. You know what I'm saying? For speaking out of her. So I was just like, so where was he speaking? And there was no, no posse roundup. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. You know what I mean? Whatever. That was what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Because of course everything that's in there is on point. You know what I mean? Whatever. But as we know, this place here don't like to hear about its own dirt. Even like this place could be throwing dirt to the left, but you talk about their dirt throwing on the left, on the right side, you're a problem. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So I was curious about, like if that was actually at a speaking event or right, but I heard you say it was he was invited to speak, so that answered that. But everything was on point though. That's a dirty place.
So now we know why. We don't need to celebrate the 4th of July, and what the 4th of July is to the African or Black person, Indigenous person, Native person in America, and what Frederick Douglass Oration was really about in 1852, and who does the 4th of July really serve in America, and why this misleading and miseducation leads to Coons in politics. Because the more you're misled, the more you're miseducated, you're going to be practicing these holidays, giving all your vital energy to it, and eventually you start being like who you are praising. When your enemy has become your deity, you have a problem here. So that's what I'm saying. We don't need to be putting our time and efforts into 4th of July. I know it'd be a nice day to barbecue, David. I'm not trying to bash you on that, subliminally bash you. It's not even about that.
That is fine.
I'm just saying that even if it's not a nice day, you can still barbecue.
Yeah. I can barbecue any day of the week. It's just that in the situation that we're not going to talk about that I'm going through, I found that a good day to not cook indoors.
Okay.
So, it's hot as hell in Texas right now. Cooking cooking indoors kind of burns the energy from your air conditioner, because your air conditioner having to work that much harder to cool something back off. So, hell, but I'll barbecue in wintertime. So, yeah, I don't mind being wrong. Because I can learn from it.
Well, what happens is sometimes,
it's just a regular day.
Yeah, I know.
It's cool. I'm all right.
Listen, in 2008, February 2008, during Black History Month, it wasn't West Hollywood Hills Elementary. It was West Hollywood Elementary. I said Hills earlier, but it's West Hollywood. It's been a long time since I've been here, since 2008, so I didn't know if the Hills was there or the Hollywood. But it was West Hollywood Elementary, where I got this book from in February, during Black History Month. And that's how I found out what the 4th of July was really was really about. And when I read his speech, and then, of course, the YouTube is always readily available and other sources, I'm like, oh, okay, it just makes sense. I don't even have to question it. I don't have to debate it. I don't have to argue with it. I don't have to go in denial about it. I don't have to make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Not that anybody's making excuses, because you do what you do. But I'm just saying that now that we know the truth, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. If you keep continuing doing what you're doing, then you fall into that psychopath and lunatic aspect. Because now you're driving yourself crazy over something you know it's not real, and that you're trying to create it to be real. You didn't drive yourself crazy doing that. When Frederick Douglass stood up in front of these wicked ones in 1852 and said, why am I being called here today? What does this have to do with me and who I represent? While they're still working on a plantation right now in 1852, but independence was supposed to be from 1776. Why do you think Juneteenth is even in existence? Because people were still being slaves and didn't know they were still slaves, didn't know they were free.
You didn't do a Juneteenth show, though.
When Abraham Lincoln came on the scene, ones didn't know they was free. When Abraham Lincoln was supposed to do the emancipation, blah, 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 right? One still didn't know that. So please.
You need to do a
There's no way 1776 ended any slavery. That's my point. There's no way, especially not on the continent of the Americas.
You heard me, sis?
Say that again?
You need to do a Juneteenth show. You know what I'm saying? We need to start bringing all these laws, man. Like, yeah, they do a Juneteenth show, you know what I'm saying?
Now that it passed already.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, when you talk about all these things, man, because, like, it's like, man, like, you know, like, we, like, there's too much stuff, man, that, like, you know, like, we need to, and I'm not saying we need to even make up no new holiday. I ain't saying that, whatever, man, but, like, there's a lot of different dates that we need to start acknowledging as black people.
It's not even making up
are really
more
more meaningful.
Yes.
Well,
we can go to our ancestral holidays and practice their holidays.
What, like that? Or I just say, like, there are a lot of like revolutionary events that's happened for us African people over the years that, like, you know, that we can, if not make it like a holiday, at least have recognition to these events that happen on these days. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because it's like, you know,
exactly.
Like, there are a lot of different stuff that you know that's in our story that we need to acknowledge, you know. So I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, we need our celebrations. We need our festivities. We need our ceremonies. We need our holidays, our vacations.
Yeah. You know. So, yeah, you know, so it's time to get to work. It's time to get to work in our own house. Stop building these people's house, you know. Stop making the money on their holidays, you know. Stop supporting them and making their you know, their bank account fatter, you know. Save your money. You know. But we got a few minutes.
Yeah, but that's the truth. That is such the truth. I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to say, but we at an 8:30 hour. I don't know if you want to continue or we can cut it short here until next time.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was saying I don't know if anyone would like. I don't know if my mic was on mute or not when I was just speaking, but I don't know if it was on mute.
No.
Yeah, in the next minute or so, we're going to be off air. We'll still be recording, but we'll be off air. And I don't know if anyone had anything else that they wanted to say. If not, you know, we could cut it here and continue in a few days, or we can keep going off air in about 49 seconds. And that's how that's going.
Yeah.
But I also give thanks to the listeners that's listening in. You didn't call in, but you might be listening from your phone, your laptop, or your computer. It's always good to have these type of topics because it's really time for us to be responsible for our part of, you know, being that steward of humanity. We ain't going to save everybody. That's totally understood, but we put in our portion that helps a lot. And this is a portion that we just put in because some people probably never even known that Frederick Douglass stood up and did a 4th of July oration, you know, that's considered a mouthpiece for dead history. That's what they called it. So I'm David. You have anything you want to say? And Christina?
I just wanted to add one more thing about the faking the real. I know I'm on that. I'm not feeling no type of way against y'all at all, because I really love my brothers and sisters. But it's y'all just making me think and making me have so much profound thought. And I know when I share it with people, it really helps them that care about me, you know. But the fakest thing on this planet that people are doing, and it bothers me, because I would never do that, and I didn't do it. I haven't done it. Is hiding knowledge and faith, you know, things that give you faith. I'm not gonna say religion, because I don't believe in religion. You know, the scriptures say our way of life was not